Phillip Schofield's fall from grace has been one of the more discussed media scandals in recent years, and his sudden departure from ITV's This Morning following revelations of an affair with a much younger colleague, a runner from the show. The scandal centred on the fact that Schofield, then married, had lied about the nature of his relationship with this young lad who worked on the show, and Schofield publicly came out as gay in 2020, and the affair in question was between him and another man. Well, in a way, why should one even raise an eyebrow over that, except for the complexity of the deceit and the problem that Schofield had been elevated to a position where he was the face of ITV, of morning ITV. Schofield is an extraordinarily accomplished and adept performer, and I remember seeing him both in Joseph, which I didn't like much, and in Dr. Dolittle, which I thought was sensational. I can't say I was terribly interested in his early morning television stuff, but every time I caught it, I was, drawn along, and his easy skill. In the aftermath of the scandal, he faced harsh criticism from both the media and his industry colleagues, leading to what he describes as a complete collapse of his career and reputation. And his key assertion now is that the scandal was intensified by homophobia, and he believes that had the affair been with a woman, public reactions might have been more lenient. He frames this double standard as indicative of broader social prejudice. In a new Channel 5 programme entitled Castaway, Schofield makes his first public comeback since the scandal, reflecting on his experiences while stranded on a desert island for 10 days without a crew. So it's just him and a camera, and then somebody working very hard on editing equipment later, and lighting, and various other bits and pieces. I don't believe the idea that there is no crew. I'm sorry. I've spent too long looking at reality TV to be taken in by this sort of guff, because that's what it is. In the show, Schofield delivers a no holds barred critique of ITV colleagues, accusing them of betrayal and cowardice. He speaks at length about how quickly those he considered friends and allies, including his longtime co-host Holly Willoughby, abandoned him. I remember at the National Television Awards, Holly Willoughby and Phillip Schofield cavorting on chairs immediately behind me with John Barrowman. They couldn't have looked more the image of close, giggly friends. His reflections on the network and his culture reflect the bitterness and the disillusionment that he feels towards an industry he once cherished. Schofield's sense of being, quote, thrown under a bus highlights the brutal nature of the television world, where public image and brand often outweigh loyalty. If he wants to make a comeback, I think making a comeback on a reality TV show format, which has been specially engineered for him, is not the right way to do it. If he wants to be on his own with a camera and do thoughtful things to the camera, then maybe he should be spending his time doing something useful. Maybe he should go to Ukraine or go to Lebanon, northern Israel, Gaza, report from the scene where people's lives are really on the line. Because I'm not sure, when you compare Phillip Schofield's whinging with the with the bravery of a one-man camera team, who then goes home and edits his own work, that there's any comparison. I'm not taken in by this nonsense at all. The programme is supposed to offer a window into his personal life, with appearances from his wife, Steph, and daughters, Molly and Ruby. who stood by him throughout the ordeal. Molly, his publicist, expresses the hope that the public will eventually forgive her father's mistake. So this is an extended advert or an extended pitch for his future career in television, but doesn't want to be on ITV. His daughter hopes that the public will eventually forgive their father's mistake. Schofield acknowledges the affair as unwise, but questions whether it warranted the complete destruction of his career. Well, what about the young man? Castaway is Schofield's attempt at catharsis and reinvention. While he says he has no plans to return to presenting on a sofa or work for ITV again, his final comment suggests he isn't done with television altogether. The programme serves as a personal reckoning and an attempt to control the narrative about his scandal. Schofield's candid remarks in the show indicate his defiance and his resilience, even as he recognises the monumental toll the affair had and its aftermath has taken on his own life and his career, but also on the life and career of the young man who with whom he dallied. And that young man is bound by an NDA, apparently. Well, I would have thought, at this moment, seeing Schofield frolic on a desert island, that NDA is worth nothing. I would like to hear from him, rather than from Schofield on a desert island, sporting a bit of stubble, and choosing his moments to talk to camera. In addressing homophobia and industry betrayal, Schofield raises important questions about double standards in the media, which are certainly there. Though it remains to be seen whether his comeback will resonate with viewers or if the public will be ready to forgive and move on from the controversy. I would love to talk to Schofield about whether he thinks that reality TV is a way back for failed television performers, and that reality TV is some sort of baptism and a washing away of the sins of the past, and if it's a price worth paying. But this confection, which is not quite reality TV, not quite reportage, not quite interview, is a very strange format. And I'm not that surprised. I'm not that surprised that his daughters are so closely involved in the execution and presentation of this program. I think it may make interesting viewing for a short while, but I cannot imagine it's going to dominate the television ratings somehow. I believe it starts tonight on Channel 5.